Hi guys, Jesse from Fulla Strength and Conditioning here with episode number 9 of the From Average to Awesome podcast. So really thrilled once again to have all of you guys listening in. I hope you took a lot out of last week's podcast that I did with Christian Woodford. We covered a lot on sort of athletic development and touching on sort of how to best prepare athletes or even just the weekend warrior for training. This week here, I have another guest coming on the line with me. This man shaped who I am today. He is one of my earlier soccer coaches, or football as we commonly call it. He goes by the name of Andre Meyer. He was my football coach when I was living in Adelaide at the tender age of 16. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to jump on Skype and give him a call, and we're going to talk all things football. We're going to talk about the youth development, so more about sort of the kids of today, but also touching on work ethic, discipline, and also mental toughness, which is a big thing that Andre instilled in myself. So I'm going to jump on Skype and give him a call and get stuck into it. I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. Mr. Andre, hello.
Hello.
Mate, thank you. Yeah, very good. Just want to say thanks first and foremost for taking time out of your busy day to come on the line with us, and I hope that we can give the listeners some good information. So thanks once again for jumping on the line with me, Coach.
No problem, anytime.
So first of all, just for all the listeners, Andre, I've given them a brief sort of background of how we are connected. Obviously, when I was living in Adelaide, you were my main coach, and I've just said that basically you shaped pretty much who I am today. You instilled a lot of discipline and mental toughness in me. But what I'd like you to do is I'm going to give you the floor, mate. Just give the listeners a bit of a background of who you are, what you do, and sort of your health and fitness journey, and obviously the football aspect of it as well, mate.
Yeah. Oh, it's pretty simple. I mean, I've been in football since I'm 3 years old, pretty much in Germany. So I come from Germany. Particularly from Düsseldorf, so I played all there through the junior ranks and youth development, and then in the end I played professional till I was 26 years old, and then I retired, semi-retired, sort of went to Australia and immigrated into Australia, as we all Germans like to do that. And then I kept on playing here in the top level and second tier. Obviously football at that time in the early 90s was not that big of a thing. I mean, it was always big, but it wasn't
at the level it is now.
Today with the A-League. So I would have wished that I would be probably 20 years younger right now and be part of this fantastic setup what has been happening in Australia. So, but yeah, then I continued to play to a high age, probably till 38, and went to Asia for a couple of years as a player coach. And then from there on, I went on to take over as the technical director of the Asian Professional League in Indonesia. Was stationed in Jakarta 3.5 years.
Oh, cool.
And then I moved on to Germany for a year to work with Paul Agostino, one of the Australian
Yes,
legends.
That's right. Anyone who follows Australian football will know Paul.
Oh yeah, Paul Agostino, bloody legend, and worked with him for quite a few years. First year in Adelaide as well, and then obviously we caught up back in Munich and stayed in Munich for over a year and built an academy over there. So that was my thing. And then I came back to Australia in 2013 in the end.
Yeah.
Close to 2014 and
so based back in Adelaide now.
Based back in old good Adelaide.
Back where it started. I love it.
Absolutely.
All right, Andre, what first got you into the world of football, and what prompted you? What made you want to start your own football academy as well?
I mean, world of football, obviously coming from Germany, football is a religion. And,
football is life.
Probably, everybody plays. It's life, and I just got lucky that I had a little bit of talent and worked myself up and got to a decent level. But the point is that it is not always about to play in a World Cup. It is about to be a part of it and see how far you can go.
Yeah.
And
push yourself, see where you go.
I got lucky as a player in certain stages, and maybe unlucky in some stages as well as a player, like many players experiences as well.
Yep.
And from that moment on, I just stick to football. And then I was still playing here in Adelaide, and I was a little kid, one day virtually in a video store, asking me if I do some coaching because he saw me playing. And I said, you know what, if you're Sunday morning at 6 o'clock at the park,
Yeah.
a.m., then I may coach you, because I used to do my little runs, you know, my little recovery runs on a Sunday. And I thought, hey, I go out there at 6 o'clock on Sunday. The kid was out there standing, and
Yeah.
that's how it started. And from that moment on, it was just history. It just kept on going. And by the end, I think I came to a number now in Adelaide of over 1,000 boys I have been involved with.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I've shaped everybody of them, but I think...
In some way, I would say probably to a degree you would have influenced probably most of them. Yeah.
We saw an example yesterday at the Marconi Hume City match with Kim Harris.
Yep.
And I think you still remember the boys,
Yeah.
Tim and Adam, the twins.
I do.
You know, they came with me when they were 12, 13 years old.
Yeah, I remember training with them
for many years, and it was a really proud moment yesterday to see him scoring the equalizer and scoring the winner in the penalty, and still around. And a lot of these boys are still around and playing, obviously, like yourself in the NPL, and
Yep.
and being a really good asset to Australian football as it is today. There's no doubt about it, you know.
Yeah. I like it though. It's all just sort of, as a lot of businesses do, just sort of spur of the moment thing, and just one sort of spark has ignited it, and now you're going strong, like you said, coached over 1,000 kids. So
I
that's
always
fantastic.
think like this: if instead of filling shelves at Coles when you're at uni, if you can play for a good Premier League or NPL club, you know, and you make a few dollars. And these days, obviously, some of the salaries, you know, there's a minimum. You have to get $200 a game, and some of the boys making even triple or more than that, as we know. And I think it's a good achievement. There's still a big chance to do a lot more than just A League, you know. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
not everybody can
The
make
state leagues have developed quite a lot over the last
Oh, yeah.
10 years at least. So, all right, Andre, what are the age groups of the kids that you mainly train? And what are some of the main things you focus on with your training? What aspects of their sort of game or fitness, if you want to sort of entail that sort of bracket, do you work on?
That's a good question. I mean, look, I would like to start as early as possible. So we do have kids there. They're as young as 5.
Yep.
And I never push a player away, even if he is 21 years old.
Yep.
I think today the chances and differences are there that some of the boys develop just very late,
Yep.
between 18 and 21, and start to mature properly, and then you see the real potential.
Yeah.
So I never give that away. Yeah, what do I train? You probably remember, you know, basic perfection. You know, do
Yep.
the simple things with excellence, and then understand why these tools get you there where you need to go.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of soccer is far complicated in the way of trying to maybe teach too much,
Yeah.
or sometimes being too simple. You know, when
Yeah.
you see junior football, see that two-touch football is being played in junior football. You know, playing out of the back, that's all good and fair. But I think that individual development still, when you're a youngster, is
Yeah.
very, very important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the key words you've used there, basic perfection. It's just, like you said, it's doing the simple things, but really hitting them well, like really executing them to a high
Question in your
standard.
profession, you're a PT. I mean, when someone
Yep.
does a push-up and he does it wrong, and he does 200 of them every day,
Yep.
he does them wrong, he actually does more damage.
Yeah,
than
that's
he does
right.
good.
And
But
that's,
if he does
yeah.
it right, he will have a core strength and he will develop that. And that's what I think I mean with basic perfection.
Yeah. I like how you've sort of wrapped it over to sort of my sort of domain a little bit more. It's like a lot of people think doing more is always better. And we touched on this the other day. Doing more is only better if it's done well. So, yeah, doing a push-up's fantastic. It'll develop the right areas. But if it's not done well, you're developing a poor pattern really, really well. So you're developing something poorly at a high standard, which is not really what we want, even if it's football, if it's fitness, if it's health. So,
I mean, you come to
yeah.
fitness and soccer. I mean, I think everybody likes to be football related, and they like not to go out there anymore and doing the 50 laps around the oval and all of
Yep.
that. But said that again, when you say football related activity, you do run a lot in football.
Yes.
And actually it's a running game. And if
Yep.
you're really honest to yourself, if you have a minute of touches of the ball in a game, of a 90-minute game, you'll be lucky. You'll be actually a decent
Yeah.
player. But the point is the rest is all about
It's all running. And I remember, yeah.
And we're missing it a little bit, because you see today teams, yes, they play the two-touch soccer and everybody gets a touch and everybody sits in their position.
Yep.
But then you see lack of intensity and you see
Yeah.
lack of power, and sometimes, you know, you want to
Yeah.
see something like the Cristiano Ronaldo pumping through 3 players.
Yeah,
and
going
making
for
a
those longer
sprint.
style runs. Yeah.
Yeah, look, it is something what is questionable, but it has to be done right. I think your profession is the better way to do it in football today.
Yep.
They need to get more. They're getting in the top level,
Yeah.
more professional trainers in there, and making sure that you actually prepared
Yeah.
for the workload you are actually
That's
getting.
right.
And I don't think that ball exercises will do that.
It doesn't do it. Yeah. It can get you part way. It can get you part way there, but it can't get you the whole way. So, I touched on this in my last podcast called GPP, General Physical Preparedness. Absolutely, you need to have a good touch on the ball, but you also need to be able to run. And I can't remember if it was you or one of my other coaches said, this is before one of the trainings, he asked all of us, and he said, do you like running? I think it was about a 50-50 split. Some said they like running, and then the other half said they didn't. And like you said, there's only one ball on the pitch, and you've got 22 players. If you don't have it, you better be moving. So
the best argument for coaches I always have when they come and they think they have to follow something particularly, I always say, if you have no condition, you will lack concentration.
Yep.
So as much as you like that you want something executed,
Yep.
and the condition is not there to perform with concentration, you will never achieve your goal. As
Yep.
much as you want to do this passing drill, as much as you want to hammer it for how many hours,
Yep.
it will not happen, because that's even in school with your work, with your study.
Yep.
Everything is about that you are conditioned to receive that
Absolutely.
exercise.
Yeah. All right. Andre, what are some challenges that you see with the kids of today and sort of their mentality to just work hard in general? So training sort of intensity, like you said, yeah, it's good to do the two-touch stuff, but when it comes time to actually work and push, what are you seeing with the kids that you deal with? Are you seeing that they're up to the workload, or maybe they're on sort of the lower side where they're not quite conditioned, as you said, to do that hard work?
I mean, environmental issues are impacting children's mentality. So
Yep.
we have too many distractions, we have too many commitments in our society, particularly in our modern society like Australia.
Yeah.
And there's a main problem of losing talent in any sport, because you just have so many choices and options. And I'll be honest to you, not necessarily Australia as well like that, but the European countries,
Yeah.
as much as you like it, they're losing a lot of players, they're losing a lot of talent, and they actually in the last 10 years have really seen a decline in kids going through, particularly when they hit 15, 16,
Yep.
17, and puberty hits in, and they're not interested. They go and get a job, they make the money, they get a girlfriend, they get an apartment, and
That's it.
everything else is too
Yeah.
heavy. So, and
Yeah.
it's like, if you want to be a doctor, you need to study very hard, and you need
Yes.
to work a long, long time to get there. And I think if kids made their mind up,
Yeah.
and I have a lot of them in the academy who are really, really keen, and they get the support from their family, they are switched on. I give them that. But then again, maybe there's 10 kids out there, they're much better and much more talented, but they haven't got any.
They don't want it,
any
or
idea.
yeah.
They don't want to. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I think, like you said, the environmental distractions, it's only going to get worse. You've got technology, everyone's got so much to try and get into one specific day. And unless you've got that sort of that mindset or that tunnel vision to go and get after something, there's always going to be something that's going to maybe take over.
That's
which
right.
which is understandable as well. People need to pay the bills, but to exceed at a high level, like yourself from obviously playing in Germany, you've got to be dedicated, sacrificed. Yeah. Okay. Andre, what I want you to do now, mate, I'm going to put you on the spot. I would like you to define mental toughness, and then I want to discuss a little bit about discipline within sports. So, first of all, mental toughness. What is it?
Mental toughness is either a combination of experience and confidence.
Yep.
So you are inflict that because you have good experience and you are quite a confident person. That means you can deal with certain situations much better than other people.
Yep.
Or it is the understanding, what is very simple, that nothing comes easy. And there are people out there, and there are kids out there that they do have to work hard. They may have older siblings, always have to try to compete and all of in that area, and that it does happen.
Yeah.
So I think that is the best explanation what I can come up with, that, that experience and confidence definitely is mental toughness. People say, oh, look at this kid over there. He's really tough. He's strong-headed and all of that. But it comes with a confidence, and that must have already been put into him.
Yeah.
And then, of course, he may, like I said, has to compete with a lot of siblings at home and fight his well through. So he had that idea already.
Yeah. I think, go ahead.
Yeah, discipline. Discipline is a major asset. particularly in junior development. And I always think, if you let your young puppy, you get yourself a nice young German Shepherd puppy and you let him run around your house, after 3 months or 4 months, you have no furniture left, everything is chewed up and knocked off. I mean, you're not going to let that happen. You're going to be quite disciplined. It doesn't matter how cute they are and how much you love them.
You got to teach them.
In line, because that's what it is. And to be honest, they enjoy it.
Yeah.
Kids these days need leadership. They need a pathway and they need feedback.
Yes.
The feedback can sometimes be right, because we don't want to make 4th place great and everything is unlucky. Yeah, we have to get away from that.
Yeah.
Because it is not great 4th place. It's you've done well. Okay, you didn't fall over. You made it to the finish line. That's great. But you have to start putting things in perspective.
Yes.
Because when they come later on in life, and suddenly
there's going to be hardships. Yeah.
It comes with pain. And in the end, if you don't put a lid on it right away, it's going to be a very
difficult to contain process. Yeah.
Later on to fix it, because I get kids now, they're 12 and 13, and the first thing they say, the father says, he's not intense enough. He's not there. He hasn't got the power. He hasn't got this.
Yeah.
To be honest, hey, that is a part. That is a part you may in the earlier years could have picked up, and you could have encouraged that a bit more. And yeah. But that is where I see discipline is a very important part with children. Definitely.
I like how you touched on the 4th place there. I was listening to a podcast from Joe DeFranco, who's in the States, and his mentality is that they shouldn't give out participation trophies and things like that. I'm not sure I'd go that far, but definitely having that understanding, like you said there, nothing comes easy. Having that understanding, if you want to get somewhere in life, whether it be professional football or getting leaner or losing 30 kilos, it's going to come with sacrifice, and it's a matter of, like you said, giving that feedback and having the understanding that it's going to take hard work and sacrifice.
Hey, if you get 4th place out of 300,
that's good.
Well.
Then
done bloody well, and then you turn around. But we go on.
Put it in perspective.
Put it in perspective. It's not bad, but it's all about in perspective. Okay, 10 teams competed. I finished 8. You done well.
Room for improvement. Room for improvement.
7 places to improve. It's all right.
All right. Do you think kids have it too easy nowadays? Do you think they get coddled and just looked after a little bit too much?
Look, my dad's philosophy, okay?
Yep.
Working harder does not necessarily mean betterment.
Yes.
Working smarter does not necessarily mean productive. If you take these 2 things, betterment and productivity,
combine them
and work on that,
you're
doing really well.
Yeah.
You start having a focus on the simpler things, because sometimes, you go out there and you go to a player and you say, go harder.
Yeah.
Now you think to yourself, if you screw a bolt and you keep on screwing it, it's
only going to go some far.
You only go so far until you thread it, and then it's really, really loose. And the point is, if you're trying to compete yourself always of being strong and hard, the one day will come when this is not enough anymore. Because in the modern football, really, you look at players like Iniesta, you look at the 10 top players in the world, they're not bigger than 5'7".
Yep.
And that's the point. They're dominating the football because you can't get the ball of them.
Yes.
And they're too quick and speedy and
different attributes.
Strength, yes, it is different attributes. So we need to look at that. That's what comes to development. The next question you had before. Where do I write a kid off? I have a kid in my academy. He's 8 years old. He looks like 12.
Yeah.
He pushes all the 8 years. He just turned 8. That's the funny part.
Yeah.
He just turned 8. The other's already gone on to 9, and he's still double the size. And his dad says to me, he's very strong, and they play him in the back, and he cleans up everybody.
Yeah.
And he comes to me, and now I make a striker out of him. And saying, look, trying to run away, trying to dribble, take on people on, and, trying to learn something here instead of trying to, you're the biggest kid of all. So
people will catch up. That's right. Yeah.
Look, it's not the kid's fault, but it is our fault when we then go, look at this big kid up in the back.
Yes. Yeah. I remember that a lot. You just get the big kids. Even if he was a striker, you'd put him in the back because he'd dominate.
Don't worry about that.
And
push everybody over.
Yeah. And it comes back to genetics as well. I did a video recently on the three different body types that people can be sort of associated with. And this comes back down to parents and your history, your DNA. You've got sort of on the left, you have an ectomorph, which is sort of my build. You're quite tall and you've got skinny limbs. You've got that middle ground, which is a mesomorph, someone who's athletically built and quite strong physically. So that might be the lad you're talking about. And then on the other side, you've got a bigger shaped person, an endomorph, where it's a little bit shorter, maybe a bit stocky and more of a thick shape. So even in football, it's same as for health and fitness. You know, you've got that genetic sort of makeup that you have to take into account as well.
Look, it is in your area of expertise. It's definitely the Bruce Lee syndrome. It is like, you know, you have the big block of bricks, you know, and you have to carry them from this side to the other side, you know, and then you have the big guy who can take a big scoop of it, but it takes longer for him to make the way. And then you got Bruce, who is running like Speedy Gonzalez, and suddenly he's first finished than the other guy. You know, it is all an implement of putting things in perspective. You know, strength is great. If you have it, endorse it, but don't forget all the other things. And that's in football, the right foot and the left foot, you know. Everybody sort of grows up with the right foot. Most of them are 99% right-footers. And forget about that left foot. Don't need it. Just stand on it.
It's just...
The left footers doing it too. The left footers doing it too. I have a lot of left footers that virtually can't use their right. And I ask myself the question, how do you walk?
Well, even, do you remember when I was over in Adelaide, I think I was one of the few people, not to like try and get big-headed, but
you were technically very sound, very balanced.
I remember my a coach I had prior to you when I was about 10 or 11, Tony. He's an Italian, and the thing he drilled into me is juggle with both feet. And I remember when I was in Adelaide living, I'd go down to the park and I'd juggle with both feet, and then you'd go to training and you'd pass it to someone's wrong foot and they don't know how to use it. They can't control the ball, and they can't pass it. So.
It is another distraction, because once you go one-sided, you only think with one side of the brain. And then automatically everything starts happening on a one-sided affair. It is very important to be balanced today. That's why many professional teams in this day do yoga, Pilates. You know, they're in their strength position, and a lot of balance exercise.
Trying to
legs to strength.
Create that symmetry.
Tennis players had it too. I mean, a lot of tennis players in the old days used to play only with one arm, and they ended up with this one big arm, and then and the skinny arm.
Really
it
skinny.
was a very big period in the 80s. You could see, you're a tennis player. You knew straight away the guy was hitting 3-4 hours a day. And suddenly they realized that actually your structure and your skeletal structure, your bone structure, your muscular structure, everything is going one-sided. So you're actually asking for trouble. So in football, it's the same thing. That's why I tell kids to work on both feet. And juggling doesn't necessarily improve your touch. Let's get away from that. You don't
gets there somewhere, but
in the game and juggle
that's right. Correct.
But what it does, it makes you lift one leg in each time. So automatically, you're always on one leg. So you do 200 or 300 juggles, you've been actually 5 minutes or 10 minutes on one leg on each side. The skipping rope effect. 4 minutes of skipping rope, 3K run. It's amazing, but it is the truth. So the kids should be looking at
both
that
sides,
area and saying juggling can improve me as well athletically.
And something that I use for a lot of my clients, especially if it's, for example, lifting weights. Like you said, most people are left-footed, most people are right-handed. So we'll start everything on the weaker side to sort of even out those muscular imbalances, which also helps to prevent injuries, which obviously in football is quite prevalent.
Unless you're left-footed and right-handed like I am. I play tennis with right and kick with left.
Right.
I'm being blessed.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. Just too short.
All right. In today's society, do you reckon that people have... do you think they know what hard work is? I'm talking true hard work. And do you think most people want to try and take the shortcut or the easy option instead of earning their results?
Look, like I said, again, smarter, harder. Look, shortcuts can bring you there. I don't know how particular athlete sport, you have to be honest, shortcuts will not go anywhere. You cannot. You need to be prepared, and you need to be able to deal with the workload, and that is something... you know, like in the military or in the Marines in America, you can't do a 3-week course and then go off to war. You know, it will be a longer procedure when they prepare you and test you, and you may fail in between as well. So I think, you know, if you come to the subject of hard coaches, you may want to go that way. Hard coaches out there as well. You know, they're going out there and going they're going hard and they're trying to work you to the extreme or being even honest to you. And I think a lot of hard coaches, they're maybe discipline-wise very hard. I think they're very truthful. You know, they just go out there and just tell it as it is. You know, red is red, blue is blue, and green is green. And there's nothing in between. So we are, look, there are a lot of today's,
I think
they are trying to do shortcuts. You know, $300 Ronaldo boots make you play better,
Well, it's actually quite funny you touch on equipment. A lot of people, even let's talk football. If it's football, they think getting a lighter boot's going to make them run faster. The boots only weigh 200 grams, and the person weighs 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 kilos. So it's trying to take in that whole big picture side of things.
The Rocky Balboa syndrome, you know, when he was going back to nature and carrying blocks around. Look, there is in every modern science is a counterpart in nature.
Yeah.
Now, if you do a lot of cross-country running, cross-country uphill running, and downhill running, you improve your balance, your stability, your muscle groups, and you're going to get quite fit.
I remember the snake pit.
You know, people do that. I think they don't do that anymore. And the sand beaches and dunes and all of that. What you can do still, you know, in the end of the preseason, but in the end, there are many opportunities now. You know, I mean, gyms are very modern now, and they're not just set out that you sit in an equipment and push the equipment around. You know, everything is now on more free weights and free athletical exercise. So look, there's plenty of options.
Yeah. Right. With the equipment, I think it's a funny one because even in my industry, a lot of people, before they start exercise, they have to go to the shops and spend a big amount of money, get the whole new wardrobe, and then try and get into it. So I think, like we've already touched on, it's the mindset that, like you said about the doctor, they've got to study for a massive period of time. So it's trying to get into the right headspace, that it's a long-term thing, hopefully. Obviously, for it to be sustainable, and this will help with athletic development if they're in it for the long haul, and then they've got a good training program and or coach, they're going to optimize their results.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Yeah. All right, Andre, what are some simple things that kids, athletes, and just the general person, if it's a weekend warrior, what is something that they can do to improve their health or fitness? Something very basic that's going to give them a good carryover for different qualities: strength, fitness, balance. What are a couple of things people can do?
Okay, again, a little quotation of a very famous German fitness guru. And he said, look, remember this, you did not wake up someday and were unfit or took 30 pounds on more weight. So like you woke up in the morning, look in the mirror and go, oh my God, I'm fat, or I'm unfit, or this. So it took a long time to get there. And I think it's maybe a time to change. So you look at yourself and saying, okay, it took a long time to get here. And obviously it will take a little time to get off that. But that is exactly where you have to look at it. You know, you will not get responses immediately, but you start today and you work yourself through. For my little boys in the academy, I always say to them when they're saying, what can I do to get stronger? And I said, look, concentrate every day. Maybe do 25 push-ups in the morning and 25 push-ups in the evening. Do that 7 days a week, 52 weeks, you know? 365 days a year, and by the time you hit 13, you calculate that number.
Yeah, that's right.
And by the time you're there, you believe me, you will be strong.
Yeah,
you will be good, and you haven't even noticed it.
Yeah, it's the small stepping stones that you don't notice. I call these behavior goals. It's the action items that you do on a regular basis that help you get from A to B. So. I like that quote. You know, it takes a long time. It didn't happen overnight. It wasn't like at the click of a finger you suddenly woke up and you're where you are. So
it's always adopted. You know, some people have then health problems, and go in and then go to the doctor, and doctor says, "Listen, mate, you have to lose weight. You have to get fit. You have to go out there this," and they go like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, it's like a light bulb goes off.
It happened. I mean, everything in life, what came your way, you choosing. You know, no one has forced you to be unfit or not to do anything or to go out there, have every day 3 coffees and 5 donuts.
Yeah.
It's
a choice.
It's a choice. And I think when you say the normal person, you know, if you like soft drinks, maybe drink it once a week.
Yep.
instead of every day.
Discipline.
But over that time, it will make a big difference. I didn't
Yep.
have to say no to it. And look, I love my chocolate. My wife only buys it once a week because she knows it takes me a couple of days and I'm done.
Yeah,
I'm
you've
through
had
it.
enough.
But she doesn't buy it every day. Sometimes I go without it for 4, 5, or 6 days until I get really nasty and say, hey, come buy me a block of chocolate.
Yeah.
You know, but the point is, you see the
Yeah.
regulation. I broke it. I'm not every day have a bar in my car and crunch one. I don't.
Yeah.
Not at all. I'd only drink water. I never drink any soft drinks.
Yeah.
But then I think 2 days ago I was at the party and the guy goes, "Oh, I have a glass of Sprite, lemonade."
Yeah.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah.
You know, it is sort of the part to go out there and bringing it in, because some people go like cold turkey and they go,
Yeah.
no.
And then they
there's nothing
binge.
wrong with that.
And then they binge.
And
Or they can. It's one of the things, especially with my nutrition practices that I'm going through at the moment. It's just a matter of getting progress. Any small step in the right direction is an improvement. Whether it be doing, like you said, doing 25 push-ups a day. If it means doing 100 juggles and then next week doing 110, you're still making that progress no matter what it is. If it's football, if it's health, fitness, losing weight, it's just a matter of heading in that right direction.
I mean, I have people I know, they smoke cigarettes, but they have control over their life that they maybe smoke 10 cigarettes in a week. I know a guy, he's busy at work, he's great, but he's fit, he runs, he plays football, he's a fit guy, doesn't do any wrong stuff, but yeah, he has his ciggies here and there. And I said, and he goes to me, oh, it's really bad. And I said, no, it isn't. Whatever you decide, you are putting a lid on it, you balance it out. My dad is 84, starts smoking with 10. So that's 71 years, and he's still kicking.
Yeah.
So let's not get that way. I don't improve it. I don't endorse it. But what I say is that, you know, people these days, if you can balance it, if you can control, if you smoke a pack a day, you have an issue.
Yes.
You have a problem, and you should get rid of it immediately. Yeah. That's the clear part. Alcohol is the same thing. I know people that drink every day 2 or 3 glasses of wine.
Yeah.
That's okay. If you start putting 2 or 3 bottles away,
then we need to control it. Yes.
Then we need to control it. And
absolutely.
That's where I think some people have that balance.
Yep.
And some people have to stop it. Some people say to me, Andre, I can't control it. I cannot go out there and smoke just 10 a week, or have every day maybe 1 or 1.5, and just to chill myself out in the evening with a glass of wine. I can't do it. I need it.
Yeah.
And I said, you have a problem. You need to get it fixed. You need to get something, patches, hypnotic, whatever you have to do, because you can't
keep going. Yeah.
But I know people that do like drinking, and they drink every day, but they drink in a consumption of a very
a small amount. That's
and
right.
They said to me, "Oh, should I stop?" And I said, "Does it do any damage to you?" No.
Yes, that's right. Is it of negative effect to your health, body composition, or performance?
Life,
yes. Yeah.
Or your social life, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, it's like it is. My wife likes to drink a glass of wine. I stopped alcohol 12 years ago. I don't drink any alcohol. We go to parties. I'm the same. The orange juice guy, and my wife likes to drink a few glasses. I mean, she's not an alcoholic or anything, but she loves to drink a wine, you know. And I don't say anything. That's all right.
Yeah,
you know, it's good. If she wants to, that's her problem.
Yeah, just means you can drive home. Designated driver.
Yeah,
But no, that's good. It's a very simple concept. It really is. It's not easy, but it's simple. It's a matter of taking, like you said earlier, it's having that perhaps that hard truth, whether it be from the GP, someone saying, look, you need to get your life in order, you need to stop doing this or that, but it needs to be balanced, something that you can repeat. So
look, nothing has happened to you. Everything as a human being on this planet is your choice.
Yes.
I know it's hard to sometimes put their heads around it and say, oh, no, that happened to me and that was... No, it is your choice. No one forced you to go that path. No one forced you to go that way, to do anything like it. You made that choice. And once you realize that as a human being and your personal trainer, or in your case, you know, you're the mentor who goes out there, you just need to impact that. And I do that as well. You know, I said to the kid, what should I do to get better? Should I train more? Your choice, mate.
Yeah.
It's your choice. If you think you want to do more, you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing as well. It's a very individual response. It's like me saying to someone, let's say, for example, someone's downing 3 soft drinks a day. If they literally can't go from 3 to 0, can you go to 2? Can you go to 1? If they say yes, once again, that's a step in the right direction. So
you can drink 3 if you drink 2 liters of water.
Yeah.
with it during the day. No problem. If you can deal with it. The point is, as you said, so long as it doesn't do any damage, so long as they don't feel the negativity of it. It's very hard. We always talk about nutrition. Nutrition is a subject. Well, it's very delicate because, everybody pulls out.
Everyone's an expert.
Have carbohydrates.
Everyone's an expert.
Yeah, the problem is they can't cook, the experts. They don't go shopping. They have no idea about product lines.
Yeah.
They just read in a book and say, get gluten-free products. You know how hard that is to get gluten-free products? And then you get ripped off from everybody who comes across. You know how hard it is to find certain acidities out of a food and how to do that? It's very difficult. I think and that's what I learned in Germany about nutrition. And luckily my mother comes aus hospitality for 45 years.
Yeah.
We know about food. The problem is that people are not educated about food.
Yeah.
That's why they're uneducated about nutrition.
Yeah. Well,
sport and athlete is different. When I was an athlete, I got the supplements.
Yeah.
I got the necessary tests, of vitamin D, of iron deficiency and all of that. And the point is you can supplement that. You can do it for your nutrition. But I was an athlete. I was around that environment. As a normal human being, you're going out there as a normal person, and you go like, oh my God, how do I going to control that?
Yeah. Well, even in my textbook that I'm going through at the moment, it's from a Canadian company, and they use a lot of their references from the United States. I think it's the US FDA, the Dietary Association came up with like the food pyramid and also a My Plate sort of guide for healthy eating. The company that I'm doing doesn't necessarily agree with it, and it makes sense because a lot of people they're eating the wrong stuff. And if a broad government is bringing out a standardized good eating plate, which isn't actually good, then people don't really know where to go, and it's trying to find what works for you as well. Some people,
distract one item. Say, for example, this item is bad.
Yes, it's a good versus bad,
you go into that food, and then suddenly that food has at least 3 other items in there. They're not bad. They're bad too, and that is the problem. They may eat not that bad thing in that item, but then suddenly there's something different in there.
Yeah,
and this is the issue. The best way to control your nutrition is stay fresh. If you can eat as many raw vegetables you can get, eat them.
Yep.
Carrots, apple, bananas. I said to my boys all the time before games,
fruit and veg.
Chuck a couple of bananas in, boys. And they look at me, bananas is the best. I said, have you ever seen a soft silverback gorilla? And that's their main nutrition.
Yeah.
It is a powerful item. It makes you happy. It has a happy drug in there. Bananas are absolutely top food. And the point is that it settles your stomach before the game. It really calms you down. It is very good. So fruit and vegetables, raw.
I don't know too many people that overconsume vegetables as well. And once again, I go back to this textbook because that's the certification I'm doing through Precision Nutrition. They did a study, and this is they did a perception study. They asked people to identify how many servings of different food groups they had, and the bottom line is this: people underconsume protein, underconsume fruits and vegetables, overconsume carbohydrates, and that's pretty standardized across the board. People need to get rid of not get rid of, but at least work towards a specific goal. If it's reducing fat, increasing performance, whatever, fruit and veg, get a protein source in each meal, healthy fats instead of the fast foods, the soft drinks, the takeaways, and just keep it simple.
That is the rule. You need to be. That comes discipline again. You need to be a bit self-disciplined. You have to drive past at McDonald's and you go like, nah. And then you have the kids in the back of the car and go, we want it.
Yeah.
That's the target group of these companies anyway. And look, you can live without it.
Oh, of course you can.
It's not even a question.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is just sometimes not laziness. It is
preparation. Yeah, preparation and time.
Yes, the fast food meals, healthy choice, the frozen. Guys, walk away from it. Run away, far, far away. Don't even come near it. Because yes, you may have all the other great health benefits, but have a look at it. Where it is contained, how it is preserved, what preservatives are being used. What chicken's being used. We eat more white meat. Yeah.
I always say as well, if you can't read an ingredient, you probably shouldn't be having it. Well, you look at the ingredients list, and if it's 30 to 40 ingredients, it's probably a good chance that it's not the best thing. There's probably something better that you could be having. So, yeah, it's just a matter of preparation and sort of looking into that subject as well.
Yeah,
So,
for Australia, definitely. I mean, when you're in other countries, I lived in Asia for many years, and it's not even a subject there, you know.
yeah,
I mean,
all fresh fruit and veg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
All right. Just wrapping up, Andre, what I'd like to do, mate. Quick question regarding Australia as a whole. Do you reckon we're heading in the right direction to improve our overall health? So we're talking markers like general weight, cholesterol, high blood pressure, things like that. Do you reckon, and obviously fitness as well, do you reckon we're heading in the right direction? Or do you think there's things that Australians can do to obviously improve it?
I start with this. What has improved in Australia is certainly the product line. That
Yep.
means you are able now today to go to any, Coles or Foodland, and you go on the fruit and veg, and actually the fruit and veg is decent. You know, the strawberries taste good.
Oh, he's got me on hold. Just bear with us while I try and get him back.
You there?
Hello.
You there? Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all good.
Sorry, that's the Wi-Fi here in the house. It just
Cuts in and out. All good.
Yeah. So that is a very good indication that Australia is heading in the right direction. So less sprays, less pesticides,
Yes.
a little bit more quality control in the food products. So, I remember when I immigrated here, when I came here a couple of weeks ago, a couple of weeks ago,
right.
a couple of decades ago.
Yeah.
Let's do this. It was awful. We had the sandy Queensland tomatoes. We had everything looked great and had all these perfect picture. All the apples looked great, and you eat them, and they had no taste and flavor. I think we're coming away from that. So when you base that you have now a better source, and that has improved. I agree. It does have improved. That means that our overall health will improve.
Yes.
And because
If it gets eaten, though.
you have that availability, people now starting absolutely. That's clear. That's clear. But we have more exercise programs now.
Yes.
I've seen far more fitness guys out there in the mornings with their sandwich boards up and being out in the parks and doing the training and doing the stuff and having the groups. So this has massively increased. Junior soccer, let's not blind ourselves. Fastest growing soccer thing alone in South Australia, we have 63,000 active members or members in the Football Federation.
That's a lot.
We are serious here.
Yeah.
But yes, we are. I don't know if we overall have improved enough.
Yeah.
Because of still on every corner at McDonald's.
Yes.
Still on every corner at KFC. Still upsizing and supersizing. Look, I'll give you an example. I was in Switzerland just not a little while ago, and in Switzerland, you don't have KFCs.
Yeah.
You don't have fast food. They don't allow it. You there?
Yes. Yeah, I'm here.
You there, bro?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, you there? You back?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Did you get that Switzerland thing?
Yes, yeah. There's no KFC or
don't
McDonald's.
I was amazed.
Yeah.
They don't endorse it.
It's very rare.
Natural. You have Turkish. You have a lot of Eastern Mediterranean, and the food is actually quite quality, very, very good. So they really don't have that. But in Australia, of course, we are an open franchise and open marketing. And like I said, even when my wife came from Asia here, and she said, "Oh my God, on every corner is a McDonald's." So that's an issue. That's an issue where we as a society have to start making, and other societies. It
comes down to choice though as well. Like you said, the quality of fruit and produce has gone up. The amount of personal training, or the amount of personal trainers, is just ridiculous. This industry is massive. It's not like there's a scarcity of good foods, education about exercise or nutrition. I think for me, it comes down to actually putting health as a priority, having health at the forefront, and actually taking steps to actually do something about it, rather than, like you said, waiting for the doctor or having a look in the mirror and saying, "Oh crap, I need to do something about it." I think for me, the key would be trying to be proactive instead of reactive.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it takes motivation. And I think that people in your profession are very, very needed. You know, it's a guy with a very good attitude like yourself, who understands what has to be done, and to be in big support. So I advise anyone, you know, if you really cannot do it by yourself, get yourself started. Get a guy.
Get a coach.
Like
Get a
Jesse,
coach. Get a
him
good
out
program.
there. Yeah, get him. It's true. Get him. Look, I don't coach kids forever. I don't want to say that when I coached Osama Malik or Benny Garuccio or Craig Goodwin, Kim Harris, and all these names, you know them all. You know at that time you've been here.
Yeah.
I coached them all. I was a part of their development.
Yes.
I did not say that I developed them completely.
You're a piece of the puzzle.
But I was a piece of the puzzle. There was a time in their lives for 2 or 3 years where they needed that, and they got it. And I'm happy about that I was a part of that.
And absolutely, for me as well, as a coach, if someone wants me to coach them or train them for 5+ years, that's fantastic. But I want to be able to give them the tools. I want to be able to empower people to feel comfortable to go and exercise, to know what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. I want to be able to give everyone the tools so they can do it for the rest of their life.
Build the well, don't bring the water bottles.
I like it. Beautiful. All
Build
right.
the well. It will take time, a little bit, but then they have their own well and they can move on. And that's exactly, and that's a very positive attitude when you run a business like you do, and what is a health business, what is a social business, because you are involved and you are engaged. Like I am with over 300 boys here in South Australia. I'm engaged with every single one of them. I have every day an issue and or there's a problem, and we're trying to help through it. And that's what we are.
It's problem solving. It's tackling one thing at a time. Not taking too much on, just doing small steps, chipping away.
Awesome.
All right, Andre, last question, mate. How can people transition from average to awesome? So from what they're doing, how can they get awesome?
You always come up with these good questions. How can they do that? Okay, how they can go to awesome. You're good trying. Look, in any sport, in anything, if you only master one of the things, just one, and that's determine your work rate. For example, as we said before, a kid kicks the ball 20 times a day, every day for a year, and another one does 200 times a day, every day for a year.
Yeah.
My question to you is, you tell me after that year, who was awesome and who was average.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, there's always the mutant out there. We're not talking Triple H here. We're talking the mutant. We're not talking about the kids who can do it, everything and all of that. We have that.
Just natural ability. We're talking about work rate.
You know,
yeah.
They were already good looking by the time they were 9, yeah? Picking up all the girls at school. And I never understood. I started looking good later on, you know?
Yeah.
And have my success. But this is not the... We're talking about average to awesome.
Yeah.
And that gap is very, very hard. Look, the example I got from a very good sprinting coach was that when Usain Bolt needed to upgrade to up speed from a millisecond, like a quarter second to find a quarter second in speed, it would take him longer than it took him from going from 11 seconds to 10 seconds.
Yeah. It's fine tuning that turning the screw to get from A to B. That's attention to detail. And
that's your work rate. That's what I mean. If you decide today to do 20 push-ups, or you decide to do 40, it is up to you. That's the only component any player, any sportler, anyone, even in your business, work rate is what he can determine. You can control that. I can say, I'm going to go and run further.
The thing is as well, and this is something that I preach a lot, is it comes down to work rate, but if you have a bigger capacity, you're going to be able to do more in any given task. It means that you're going to have more mental strength or more toughness to be able to stick through the hard times. If it's seeing a Macca's, you've got that extra ability to say no, or you've got the discipline because you've done it over and over and over again at a higher workload. The more challenging tasks are going to become easier. So I like that. Develop work rate.
Yep. And awesome is always, again, relative, and average is, again, relative.
Absolutely.
You know?
So I suppose we can just make it as just the next step, basically. So from wherever someone is just develop work rate to take you from where you are just a little bit further down the track.
But people like you are important then, because when you want to go from average to awesome without a real trainer, without a real feedback,
yes,
and saying, look, It's not saying we're not going to do the Michael Jordan syndrome where everybody said he's not going to be a good basketball player and he was the best in the world.
Yeah.
It's not about that.
Yeah.
What I mean is you need truthfulness in that progression. You
Yes.
need to say, okay, you step beyond average now.
Yep.
Because sometimes I say to a person, I say, look, to a kid, I said, you're really good. You're good. And the dad goes, wow, he's good. I said, yeah, but hang on a second. There's good, better, and best.
Yes. It's a progression.
Now, there was the progression, but actually he said, oh, if he's good, now what was he when he started? And I said, that's up to you to think about it.
It's
All right,
funny.
Here we go. Now I'm saying he's good, and I mean it.
Yeah.
I mean it. You are good.
It's in the fitness industry. There's a guy in the States. He's the owner of a company called Elite FTS, Dave Tate. He has I think it's a shit to suck scale, and then a suck to good scale, and then a good to great. I think it's something along those lines. So once again, it's not to say I'm not trying to categorize anybody. It's just, like you said, trying to identify where we currently are and get you, so relative to the ability going from where you are to the next level. So
Exactly.
for everyone listening, I'm not saying you are one of those 4 categories. It's just the scale that Dave has used and created. All right.
And sometimes to be told you shit, it's
Yeah,
a good motivator.
it is. It's a bit of a kick up the ass. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm here. That's what you always have to say. So I'm sorry, mate, you're not fit, but don't worry. That's what I'm here for,
Yes.
to help you to get there.
Absolutely. All right, Andre, finishing up, mate. Where can people find you online? How can they get in touch with you if they want some form of soccer coaching, even if it's a bit of mentoring, a bit of a kick up the ass? Where can they find you or your academy, mate?
Video assessment, we do everything. So it's even if people in Perth or footballers, they are interested in a bit of a career, or think they are, then they can contact us on pmprofessionalfootball.com.au. That's on info. Or on our Facebook, PM Professional Football, or you type in Andre Meyer.
Roger that. All right, beautiful.
Andre Meyer, soccer, football, whatever.
You'll pop up. I'll link those in the show notes. So if people want to get in touch with you, or if they're in Adelaide listening, they can get in touch with you.
Yeah. Or in Perth, it doesn't matter. We do video analyzation. We give information over video and saying, look, you can do this, you need to do that. It's no issue about it. We do that all.
I love it. Andre,
Awesome, Jesse.
Coach, it's always great speaking with you. I appreciate your time, and I'll stay in touch with you for sure, mate.
Pleasure. Talk soon.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
Bye. So there you have it, guys. That is a mentor of mine and an old coach of mine, Andre Meyer. So we didn't touch specifically on health and fitness, but it does tie in really well together. You know, I used to play football. I still do. It requires a lot of the same attributes that it does to get stronger, to get leaner, to improve your fitness. And the takeaway points that I would like you to take away and actually implement, I'd love you to take action on these things, guys, is first and foremost, identify where you're currently at. Have a look in the mirror if you need. Jump on the scales. If you've been told by a doctor or a dietitian that you need to change something, I would like you to write it down as a goal, be specific, and identify what changes you will make to get there. So, for example, say you have high blood pressure. What action items, what behavior goals are you going to put in place to improve and get you off being on high blood pressure? What are you going to do to lose those 5 kilos? Are you going to give up that can of soft drink? Are you going to limit yourself to just having 1 cheat meal per week? Okay? These are things I would love you to write down on paper. Create a visual goal for you to zero in on and take action on. Okay? I really hope that you got something out of this podcast. And if you didn't understand something, or if you need clarification, please get in touch with us. Give us a PM on Facebook. Okay? Fulla Strength and Conditioning on Facebook, and I will clarify it with you. Or if you want more information from Andre, check out the show notes, okay? Thanks once again for tuning in, guys. Until next time, go and be awesome. Bye-bye.